Hello and welcome back to I Have No Idea What I Am Doing, a fortnightly show all about learning. This episode is all about animations in Vue.js using the transition element. If you've seen the previous episode, you'll know that we've already recorded this. Last episode went on for a little bit too long, so I cut it in half. The upside is I already know what's going to happen, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The transition element in Vue is really, really versatile, and it's really easy to use. If you haven't seen the other episodes, what are you doing? Click up there, have a look, there's loads. Or just follow on from here, really. It doesn't matter too much. The repo is structured in such a way that you can just check out from any episode. Just check the tags section out on the repo. The link's in the description below. Without any further ado, let's get learning. As ever, the first thing we want to do is go to the Vue Transitions. Okay, this looks like what we want. Automatically apply classes, integrate third-party CSS animation libraries, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Managing state transitions, that's not what we want to do. What I'm hoping to do, just so you're on the same page, is when we click these cards, it's not too obvious what's going on. You don't realise that all them cards are then going off to the deck or whatever. So I just want to add a little animation that shows that it's moving from one pile to the other, basically. So, single elements and components. If I put this on the card and then just translate it out and then translate it back in, because the card itself isn't moving, it's a completely new component. We're not moving this component to here. We're re-rendering an entirely different component. So I'm going to have to make it leave the screen and then come back off the edge of the screen. Let's just see what this does anyway. Provides a transition wrapper component, allowing you to add entering leaving transitions for any element or component in the following context: conditional rendering, conditional display, dynamic components, and dynamic root nodes. I think we fall under dynamic components. Let's see. So we have a demo with a button, and then a transition element with a hello inside, and then it's just a normal Vue component where normal Vue app instantiation, and this is CSS. Okay, and this, I guess this is the demo. I see. So it fades in, it fades out when we hit the toggle. Okay, that's this button here. So alright, so the clicking the toggle button toggles this show variable, and then this toggles on that show variable, and we say transition name fade, and I'm guessing when an element is wrapped into a transition component is what happens. Vue will automatically sniff whether the target element has a CSS transitions or animations applied. If it does, transition classes will be added, removed at appropriate timings. Okay, I'm guessing that means you can chain them and things. That's quite nice. If the transition compiler provides JavaScript hooks, don't know what they are. No CSS transitions are detected and no JavaScript hooks are provided. The DOM operations will be excluded immediately on next frame. Okay, I'm not too sure what that means, but it looks like you wrap it in a transition and give it a name, and then you have name enter, name leave. There's probably more of these. I'll drop this in as is and see what happens. So if we go into card.vue and wrap the entire card inside transition name, what did it say? Fade. Yeah, fade. Transition. Okay. And then we don't need this because we've already got the app sorted and running. So if we copy these styles, I'll just drop them in here for now. Let's see what, oh, we got a nice fade in there. Do we fade out? We do fade out. There we go. That was weirdly easy. So they're fading in, they're fading in, they're fading in, and they're fading out and fading in over there. That was very, very easy. Right, okay. But adding making these fade makes them feel a little bit ethereal, like they're actually disappearing and reappearing. I don't want that. I want them to shoot off the edge of the screen. So in theory, I'll still call that fade for now. I'll tidy that up a little. Let's get rid of that comment. So rather than, if we set a transition on not the opacity, but a transform, and then we say transform translate, which way do we want to go? I think up and down will work best. So we translate Y 100%. Does that just work now? Oh, there we go. So we're entering from the bottom of the screen. That was weird. Okay. I think 100% is not enough. If I do VH, let's go with 200, just so we're definitely covered. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. The deck animations don't seem to be doing anything though. Why is that? Oh, they do on the last card. I'm going to rename fade to drop first, actually. Drop. 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 No, I want that to be drop. And give that a name of drop. Let's see. I know why. I know why. It's because the way we did the deck, it's not actually a deck of cards. It is just a single card that has no data on it at all. If I look at deck, yeah, we're just checking if the card length is there, and then we're rendering a blank card that never leaves until card length is 0, and then what it is, it animates. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So this was quite nice for only rendering one card and only needing to render one card, but for the sake of animations, I am going to change that from VIF to a V4, and we'll do card in cards. We also need a key equals card.id. Will that give things away? I don't know. Now in theory, right, okay, so it's working now, and we have a deck of cards and they're animating in and out, but they're all stacked like they were in card list rather than stacked on top of each other, which is what we want. But we can do that with styles. Give the class of hand, and we just very simply dot hand, position relative, and then dot card absolute top 0, left 0, and that. Oh, is that not working? That should work. Why are you not working? Oh, the hand's down here now. Let's see. Let's have a look. Hand deck. Oh, you. It's not the hand, it is the deck that we're changing. That must mean that. Oh, deck. I guess I don't need that. Maybe I just do this. Oh, right, that's why it's like that. Right, okay. And we've got a deck with a class of deck and a hand with a hand of, right. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. Now, the deck is now a series of cards that are actually rendered on top of each other. So when we animate them, they go down and back up. So they go whip, whoop, whip, whoop. I'm happy with that. We go down and in the hand. We go down and in the hand. So you can imagine you're drawing from the deck, you pull it in, you put it in your hand. That works really well, and that was really simple. I have noticed a small issue. So basically, the deck is upside down. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the video. I'll make it a bit clearer in a second. But when we draw from the deck, we're drawing from the bottom of the deck, and when we add back to the deck, we're putting the cards on the top. If I change inside card this to be 3 seconds, you'll be able to see it a lot better. So we draw a card, it comes out the bottom of the deck, and we add the cards back to the deck. We're adding them to the top of the deck. Now, as far as, I'll just put that back down there. As far as the game's concerned, it doesn't matter. You're adding cards to one side of the deck and drawing from the other side of the deck. It doesn't matter what side you're adding to, as long as they're different to each other. But convention says you draw from the top and you add to the bottom. So what's happening is we're always drawing card 0. And when we add to the list, we are adding to the end of the list. But when we render the list, we're looping through all the cards in order. So we say card 0, and then card 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then we add a new card, we add it to the end of that list, which is the top. And when we draw from the bottom of that list, which is the bottom of the deck. So the easiest way to do this, there's 2 ways. We can either explicitly add to the beginning of the list and do weirdness with the array, which we don't want to do. Or we can just simply flip the list when we render it. So, where are we? Deck. Let's close these so they don't confuse me. Inside deck, we say v4 card in cards. I almost want to do like, I think Angular lets you do reverse or whatever. Check this. I don't think Vue lets you do it. No, it does not like that at all. So, Vue reverse v4. Right, okay, the below works in Vue 1, but Vue 2 filters are depreciated. Right, well, we're using Vue 2, so let's ignore that. Inside computed property, use computed properties in place of filters, which is much better because you can just use that data anywhere in the component, not just in the template. This.items.slice.reverse. I don't know if that'll work. I mean, we're using a getter here. Oh, right, yeah, getters. Right. So let's reverse it there. I have a feeling, yeah. So the problem we have here is we've reversed the rendering, but we've also reversed the data. So we're essentially flipping the deck over and then flipping it back over again, which is not what we want. This one, all right. Oh wait, .slice .reverse. I wonder if will that work? Will that make it a little bit more immutable? No, it does exactly the same thing. But the other one had .slice .reverse up here. So I'll see if this works, and then if it works, I'll tell you why it works. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Oh, because I've not actually written valid JavaScript there. There we go. There we go. We are drawing from. I'll slow it down again so you can see. Card.view 4 seconds, whatever. Right. There we go. We're drawing from the top, and we are replacing at the bottom. Okay. Now the reason this works, or the reason it didn't work last time. So, if you remember when we were doing the tests, we had issues with mutability. So, JavaScript doesn't copy things, it stores references to things. So, if you reference a variable and you say, I don't know, const card list equals deck, or const deck equals card list, or whatever, they are tied together, and you make a change to one and it makes a change to the other. So, when we reversed the cards inside the computed one, we reversed the entire array, and then when we added to the end, we still added to the end of the list, but we flipped the list, and then when we render, we sort of flip it again. So we flipped it and then flipped it again. Flip, flip, flippity, flip, flop. What we want to do is not touch the data at all. We don't want to change the data. The data works fine. As I was saying, we were drawing from one end and spitting out the other. We just want to reverse it inside this card here. But if we just did a straight up .reverse, we actually reverse this cards array. So again, we're drawing from the bottom and putting the cards back on the top. So what we do is we do slice, and that just generates a new array. So this array that we're looping over is a new array. So we slice the array to create a new array, and then we reverse that sliced array, and it doesn't touch the original array. So now we're in order in the right way, and then the rendering like the opposite way. So card 0 is at the bottom rather than, card 0 is at the top rather than the bottom. I hope that makes sense. I didn't say the changes. Oh, thank God. That's also a little bit fast. Where is it? 4 seconds is far too long. 0.6 might work well. Yeah, 0.6 is a nice speed. Anyway, irrelevant. We've now got some pretty nice animations in there. They weren't overly complicated to put in, and they were just on the card component. So anywhere we include a card now, when it leaves, it fades out, and when it enters the screen again, it animates back in. So this will work wherever we use these cards, which is really nice. I'm happy with that. That was a bit more fun than doing the data and rearranging the tests. So we had one small issue there, but the transition element itself worked really well. We just had to change the way that we render the data a little bit to match the animations, but it wasn't too hard. It was quite nice really when we got there, and adding that little animation just really made the whole thing feel a little bit more real and helps explain where the cards are going and where they're coming from and things like that. So adding a little bit of animation just sometimes can really add a lot. It's important not to go overboard, but on something like this, it works really well. Next episode, we're going to start looking at testing the components themselves. So we've tested our mutations, we've tested our getters, but we need to get in and test the component itself because it's starting to trip us up a little bit. I'll maybe look at something a little bit more fun as well. We'll see when we get there. As ever, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. Hit us up on Twitter at FrontendNE, or just put an issue in the repo. It's entirely up to you. There's plenty of ways to get in touch. Just get in touch and I will get back to you. This is a fortnightly show, so the next episode will be coming out on the 22nd of March. If you don't want to miss it, hit that subscribe button just there. As ever, thank you for watching, and remember, I have no idea what... Yeah, no, sometimes I don't finish the full sentence.